Barber 60-Day Rapid Revision, Rare, Series UPSC IAS Prelims 2022. Daily Handouts. History. Day 4, Topics. 1. Reformists and Revivalists. 2. Pre-INC Organizations. 3. Social Awakening amongst Islamic Community. 4. History of Ferguson and Hindu Colleges. 5. Literary and Social Works of Jyotiba Phule. 6. Christian Missionaries in India. 7. Peasant Revolts Chronology, Deccan, Pabna, Rampa, Rebellion. 8. Important Tribal Revolts. 9. Pir Ali Khan, Raja Nahar Singh and Other Unsung Heroes. 10. Women Contribution to Revolt, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Azizan Bai. 11. Home Rule, Tilak vs. Annie Besant. 12. Raman Krishna Mission, Brief History. 13. Works of Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. 14. Pitt's India Act. 15. Queen's Declaration 1857. ISBABA's 60 Days Rapid Revision Series, Rare, Notes, Day 4, Modern History. 1. Reformists and Revivalists. Major reformist movements were Brahmo Samaj, Prathana Samaj, Satya Sodak Samaj, Aligarh Movement, Young Bengal Movement and Raman Krishna Mission. Some major revivalist movements were Arya Samaj, Deband Movement, Wahhabi Movement, Taitu Mir's Movement, etc. Difference between the reformist and revivalist movement. While the reformist movement strived to change the fundamental system and structures of the society through gradual changes within the existing institutions, revivalist movements tended to revive former customs or practices and thus take the society back to the glorious past. Reformists' revivalists' work. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, 1772–1833, he wrote, Gift to Monotheists, 1809, Precepts of Jesus, 1820, Gift of Mother in Persian, Turfat Ul Muhordin, compiled a Bengali grammar book and translated into Bengali the Vedas and the 5 Upanishads. Published, newspaper, Brahminkal magazine, Samvad Kaumudi. Started anti-sati struggle in 1818. Supported David Hare's efforts to found the Hindu College in 1817. 1825 established a Vedanta College. Debendranath Tagore 1817–1905 Tatvabodhini Patrika, devoted to the systematic study of India's past with a rational outlook and propagation of Roy's ideas. Ananda Mohan Bose, Shib Chandra Deb and Umesh Chandra Dutta. Started Sadha and Brahmo Samaj. It reiterated the Brahmo doctrines of faith in a supreme being, one God. They believed that no scripture or man is infallible. They had belief in the dictates of reason, truth and morality. Atmaram Pandurang founded Prathana Samaj in 1867, Bombay, more concerned with social reforms than with religion but was attached to the Bhakti cult. D. K. Karvem, G. Ronade started Widow Remarriage Movement and Widow-s Home Association. Henry Vivian Derozio, 1809–31, started Young Bengal Movement, 1820s. Derozio inspired his pupils to think freely and rationally, question all authority, and oppose decadent customs and traditions. He supported women's rights and education. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar started a movement in support of widow remarriage. He was determined to break the priestly monopoly of scriptural knowledge. He was also a crusader against child marriage and polygamy. Gopal Krishna Gokhale, 1866–1915. Started Servants of India Society in 1905. A liberal leader of the Indian National Congress. The Hitavada, newspaper, 1911. Swami Vivekananda started Raman Krishna Mission, 1897. He emerged as the preacher of Neo-Hinduism. He preached Upanishad, Gita, Bible, and life experiences of Paramahansa. Gave a lecture in Parliament of Religions held at Chicago in 1893, and then several lectures on Vedanta in the USA and in London. 2. Pre-INC Organizations. Organization importance. The Bangabasha Prakasika Sabha, 1836. It is founded by associates of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. It worked to focus the attention of the Englishmen on the grievances of India. The Zamindari Association or Landholders Society, founded by landlords of Bengal, marked the beginning of an organized political activities. The Bengal British India Society, 1843. Dissemination of information for welfare of people. British Indian Association, 1851. Founded by Landholders Society and the Bengal British India Society. It strived for establishment of a separate legislature, separation of executive and judiciary, reduction in salaries of higher officers, abolition of various duties. The East India Association, 1866. Founded by Dadabhai Naoroji, first such nationalist organisation in England. The Indian League, 1875. Founded by Sisir Kumar Ghosh. It stimulated a sense of nationalism among the people. The Indian Association of Calcutta. The Indian National Association, 1876. Founded by Surendra Nath Banerjee and Ananda Mohan Bose. First All India Conference in 1883 attended by 100 delegates. In 1886 merged with Inc. The Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, 1867 serving as a bridge between the government and the people, and also to popularize peasant rights. The Bombay Presidency Association 1885 founded by Badruddin Tayabji, Feroz Shah Mehta and K.T. Telang. The Madras Mahajan Sabha, 1884 founded by M. Viraragavachari, B. Subramania Arya P. Anandakarulu. 3. Social awakening amongst Islamic community. Person importance. Abdul Wahhab of Arabia and Shah Waliullah 1702–1763. Wahhabi Waliullah movement, revivalist response to Western influences and called for a return to the true spirit of Islam. Mir Nithar Ali, known as Taitu Mir's movement, revivalist, he organized the Muslim peasants of Bengal against the landlords, who were mostly Hindu, and the British indigo planters. Haji Shariatullah Faredi movement in 1818. East Bengal, revivalist, emphasized on the Islamic pillars of faith. Aim, eradication of social innovations or UN Islamic practices among the Muslims. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad the Ahmadiyya movement. His followers believed Messiah had come in the form of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad to end religious wars and bloodshed. Sir Syed Ahmed Khan started Aligarh movement. He started Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, Aligarh Muslim University, at Aligarh in 1875. Magazine, Tartib-ul-Akhlaq, reformist, movement emerged as a liberal, modern trend among the Muslim intelligentsia. Mohammad Qasim Nanatavi, 1832–80, Rashid Ahmed Gangohi. The Deban School, Darul Uloom, in Saharanpur district, United Provinces, in 1866, revivalist. Believed in moral and religious regeneration of the Muslim community. It supported formation of INC and in 1888 issued fatwa against Sir Syed Khan. 4. History of Fergusson and Hindu colleges. Fergusson University. It was founded in 1885 by the Deccan Education Society. The college is named after Scottish-born Sir James Fergusson, the Governor of Bombay, who donated 1,200 rupees. After the suppression of the Indian Rebellion of 1857, reformers in India felt a pressing need to modernize the educational. Prominent Indian nationalists, such as Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Vishnu Shastri Chaplankar, and Gopal Ganesh Agarkar led efforts to creation of the new English school. Hindu College was founded in 1899 by Krishan Dasji Gurwell in the backdrop of the nationalist struggle against the British Raj. Hindu College was a centre for intellectual and political debate during India's freedom struggle, especially during the Quit India movement. It is the only college in Delhi to have a students' parliament since 1935, which provided a platform to many national leaders including Mahatma Gandhi, Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sarojini Naidu, Annie Besant, Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Subhash Chandra Bose for motivating the youth. 5. Literary and social works of Jyotiba Phule. Jyotiba Phule, 1827–1890. Organization, Satyashatak Samaj, Truth Seekers Society, in 1873 books, Sarvajanik, Satyadharma, and Gulamgiri. Social works leadership of the Samaj came from the backward classes, Malis, Telis, Kunbis, Saris, and Dangas. He was a pioneer in women's education, and with the help of his wife, Savitribai Phule, opened a girls' school at Pune. He was a pioneer of widow remarriage movement in Maharashtra and also opened a home for widows in 1854. Phule used the symbol of Raja Bali as opposed to the Brahmin symbol of Rama. Phule aimed at the complete abolition of the caste system and socio-economic inequalities. 6. Christian missionaries in India. Christianity was introduced to the Indian subcontinent by Thomas the Apostle, who is said to have sailed to the Malabar region in 52 AD, the present-day Kerala, India. Charles Grant drafted a proposal to allow Christian missionaries to work in India. William Wilberforce moved the resolution drafted by Charles Grant. Ziegenbalg, who came to Tranquebar in 1706, translated the Bible in Tamil language. Following his footsteps, William Carey, came to India in 1793 to Calcutta from London. William Carey translated Bible into several languages. By now Danish missionaries were already working in India under the leadership of William Carey. Chartered Act 1813 granted permission to open Christian missionaries in India. Chartered Act 1833 formulated regulations for permanent missionaries in India. Mother Teresa came to India in 1931. In 1946 she started Missionaries for Charity. 7. Peasant revolts chronology, Deccan, Patna, Rampa, Rebellion. Revolt detail Indigo Revolt 1859–60 directed against British who forced peasants to sign fraudulent contracts to grow indigo. Rebellion organized under the leadership of Digambar Biswas and Bishnu Biswas of Nadia district. Nildarpan, a play was written by Dinabandhu Mitra based on this agitation. It was the first Satyagraha movement in modern India. Pabna Agrarian League Samandar enhanced rent from tenants from acquiring occupancy under Act X of 1859. Peasant formed agrarian league to resist the demands of the zamindars. 1885 Bengal Tenancy Act was passed, major issues were solved. This was supported by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, R.C. Dutt and Indian Association under Surendranath Banerjee. Deccan riots during the Deccan famine in 1875 AD. It was against the exploitation of moneylenders. It became armed rebellion under Vasudev Balwant. He is regarded as the father of modern Indian revolutionaries. The riots ended with Deccan Peasants' Relief Act. Rampa Rebellion. The Rampa Rebellion of 1922. It was also known as the Manyam Rebellion and Koya Rebellion. It was against the tribe chieftains called as Muthadars. It was a tribal uprising, led by Alluri Sitarama Raju in Madras Presidency. It ended with the capture and killing of Raju in May 1924. 8. Important tribal revolts. Movement Importance Chuars, 1769, first to revolt against the British land revenue policy in West Bengal. Kharsis, 1828, it occurred in Assam under leadership of Tiruph Singh. The cause was against the presence of army in the agency area and also revenue policy. Coals, Chota Nagpur, 1832. It was a reaction to economic exploitation of the East India Company. The Kol people were joined by other communities including the Mundas, Orayans, Hos, leading to famous Munda uprising. Konzarissa, 1846-48. It was led by Chakrabasai when Lord Hardinge I banned the custom sacrifice. Kachanga, Assam, 1882 under leadership of Sambhu Dan against British land revenue policy. Munda, Bihar, 1899-1900 revolted under the leadership of Birsa Munda. It started against Christian missionary activities. Birsa founded a new cult called Singbonga. Started Sons of the Soil movement called Ulgulan. Naikdas, Gujarat, 1858-1868. Against British policy of expansionism. Declared the formation of a tribal kingdom. Led under the leadership of Roop Singh and Jaria Bagath. Santhal Rebellion, 1854-56. It took place in Rajmahal Hills, Bihar. It opposed British land revenue policy. It was led by Sidhu and Khan, who they also declared formation of an independent tribal kingdom. Bills, 1913 led by Gov. 1922-23. It occurred in Nalamala Hills in Andhra Pradesh. Revolted against British forest laws. K. Hanumanthu led the movement. 9. Pir Ali Khan, Raja Nahar Singh and other unsung heroes. Pir Ali Khan was an Indian revolutionary and rebel, who participated in the Indian independence movement. He was given capital punishment for participating in the freedom struggle of 1857. Khan was a bookbinder by profession and he used to secretly distribute important leaflets, pamphlets and coded messages to freedom fighters. He conducted regular campaigns against the British government. Raja Nahar Singh was a great Jat ruler of the princely state of Balabhakar in Faridabad district of Haryana. They built a fort in Faridabad around 1739. He was involved in the Indian Rebellion of 1857. He revolted against the British rule, and joined the forces led by Emperor Bahadur Shah. 10. Women contribution to revolt, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Aziz and Nisa. Begum Hazrat Mahal, she was also known as the Begum of Awadh. She played a major role during India's First War of Independence, 1857-58. Learn about the revolt of 1857, she worked with Nana Sahib, Tantia Tope, etc. in the revolt. In 1984, the government of India issued a stamp to commemorate Begum Hazrat Mahal. Aziz and Nisa. The history reports that Aziz and Nisa, also known as Aziz and Bai, was born in Lucknow. She is known for her involvement in the revolt of 1857. Tripurari Sharma, append Aziz and Nisa San Satavan Ka Kissa. She helped pass on important information that aided in the 1857 rebellion. 11. Home Rule, Tilak vs. Annie Besant. Home Rule League movement, it was Indian response to First World War, inspired by Irish Home Rule Leagues. Tilak Annie Besant. Tilak's League was set up in April 1916. Its activities covered Maharashtra, excluding Bombay City, Karnataka, Central Provinces, and Bihar. Annie Besant set up her league in September 1916 in Madras. It covered the rest of India, including Bombay City. It had 6 branches. It had 200 branches, and was loosely organized as compared to Tilak's League. It had George Arundale as the organizing secretary. Its demands included Swarajya, formation of linguistic states and education in the vernacular. Besides Arundale, the main work was done by B.W. Waidya and C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer. 12. Raman Krishna Mission, brief history. The Ramakrishna Mission was established in 1897 by Swami Vivekananda, the chief disciple of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. The mission worked to help the poor, improve the conditions of women, and fight against untouchability and superstition, and to overhaul the education system. Two objectives of the movement were to bring into existence a band of monks dedicated to a life of renunciation and practical spirituality. These teachers and workers would be sent out to spread the universal message of Vedanta as illustrated in the life of Ramakrishna. To carry on preaching, philanthropic and charitable works, looking upon all men, women, and children, irrespective of caste, creed, or color, as veritable manifestations of the divine. The mission denounced the caste system as well as the current Hindu emphasis on rituals, ceremonies, and superstitions. The mission established schools, hospitals, and dispensaries, as well as orphanages. 13. Works of Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. He supported women empowerment and opposed purdah system and polygamy, condemned the system of pyrie and muridi. He preached the basic commonality of Hindu and Muslim interests. Aligarh movement emerged as a liberal, modern trend among the Muslim intelligentsia. Soon, Aligarh became the center of religious and cultural revival of the Muslim community. His philosophy, religion should be adaptable with time or else it would become fossilized, and that religious tenets were not immutable ideology, liberal interpretation of the Quran so as to harmonize Islam with modern liberal culture. Objective, social reforms among Muslims, imparting modern education. 1878 he was member of Imperial Legislative Council. In 1888 he was awarded knighthood. 14. Pitt's India Act, 1784. This was the first claim of Crown's ownership over the Indian territory acquired by the company. This act resulted in dual control of British possession in India by British government and company, with final authority resting with the government. The company became a subordinate department of the state. It introduced Board of Control who in charge of civil, military and revenue affairs, Court of Directors to trading activity. Governor-General was given veto powers, Madras and Bombay presidencies became subordinates. 15. Queen's Declaration 1858. All treaties and agreements made with the Indian native princes under the authority of the East India Company did not cease to exist but were there to stay and accepted by the Crown. The declaration expressed faith in the rights, dignity and status of the native princes. The Indian public was given an assurance that there would be no extension of the current territorial possessions. The most important result was that now onwards the Indian sepoys were enlisted in the regular service in the British Army. Provisions of the Government of India Act 1858. East India Company was liquidated. Indian territories of Britain were to be governed in the name of the British Queen. The Court of Directors and the Board of Control were scrapped. The powers of the company's Court of Directors were vested with the Secretary of State for India. The representative of the British government in India was the Governor-General and Viceroy, both the same person to avoid conflict. The Viceroy and the governors of the various presidencies were appointed by the Crown. The Viceroy was to be assisted with an Executive Council. This act made India a direct British colony. This act abolished the dual government of the Pitt's India Act. This act also ended the doctrine of lapse. The Indian Civil Services was to be instituted for the administration of the country. There was provision for Indians also to be admitted to the service.